What if I told you that the life you have always dreamed of truly exists? Your version, steady, focused, unshakable, not waiting for luck to visit. Not hidden in any secret formula. It is waiting for you behind a door. And that door is called discipline. But there is a truth that school never teaches you. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is the purest act of self-love. That is the decision to say, I will not be a prisoner of my emotions. I will not bow to distraction. I will not live by chance, but by my own choice. You see, any man or woman who has ever walked on this earth and left a mark, they all understand one thing. Freedom does not lie in having no rules, but in mastering oneself. Look at Edison, 10,000 failures to create the light bulb. Do you think he reached the goal thanks to motivation? No. He can do it because every morning, he always appeared in that laboratory with tired eyes and hopeful hands, and say, do it again. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination, but he just kept drawing and drawing and drawing until a little mouse becomes an empire. Abraham Lincoln failed 8 times in elections, facing a nervous breakdown. Buried dreams more times than he can count, but each time like that, he always returned to the battlefield of his life. There, my friend, is discipline. And if you look in the mirror right now and see someone you don't truly respect, it's not because you lack talent, not because you were not born into privilege, but somewhere along the journey, you have let go of discipline. You let emotions drive your actions. You let temporary pleasure become a refuge. And gradually, little by little, you give away the power to create your own destiny. But this is good news. It was those very hands that once let go can hold it once again. You don't have to wait until January. You don't need to wait for motivation to appear. You just need to decide right now, because time still flows. And every second you hesitate, your potential fades away. Discipline is not glamorous. It did not receive applause. It wasn't comfortable at first. It's about waking up early when the bed is still warm. It is healthy eating when sugar sweetly whispers lies. It means saying no to the party because your future needs you to be present at the gym. It is silence when the ego wants to scream. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't want to do them. It is not magnificent, but it is sacred. Because it is precisely in discipline that your soul finds direction. And if there is no direction, you are just a speck of dust in the wind, my friend. I want to make this clear. This is not about becoming a machine, but become the master. Napoleon Hill once said, self-discipline begins with mastering your thoughts. If you cannot control your thoughts, you cannot control your needs, desires, and passions. That means if you do not train your mind, it will train you. And if left free, it will be a slave to laziness, fear, and sophistry. But when have you trained? Oh, when the mind is trained, it became a sword sharp enough to split chaos in two. A steady compass guides you through the storm. Discipline is not perfection. It is perseverance. You will fall. You will fail. But if you stand up again and again and maintain the course, that is where change begins. The lion does not become king because it is the fastest. It became king because it never stopped hunting. So if you stop making decisions based on emotions, what if you start based on the person you want to become? If every time you are tempted to skip the difficult thing, you remind me again, I'm not here to be entertained. I am here to grow up. What if discipline becomes your identity? If instead of chasing freedom like a dog chasing its tail, do you become worthy of it every day? Please remember clearly, freedom is not something that is granted. It is what you build, one brick at a time, one morning at a time. Once decided, and the tool you use it is discipline. Discipline is not a limitation. It is rebirth. The moment you choose discipline, you bury the old self, impulsive, emotional, easily distracted, and awaken the self that knows how to command your world like a general leading an army. Because every time you refuse the easy path, you choose power. Every time you say no to distractions, you say yes to destiny. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and the person you have to become. Understand this, freedom is not about doing whatever you want, whenever you want. True freedom, the kind of freedom that bends the world according to your will, is born from doing what is necessary, especially when you least want to do it. Looking back at history, Lincoln did not free an entire nation out of convenience. He stayed awake through the storm, driven by responsibility. Edison did not invent the light bulb by waiting for inspiration. He created 10,000 failures until one success. That is not luck, that is operational discipline. Walt Disney is not a magician. He is a disciplined person, disciplined in vision, never backing down in execution. Henry Ford was not only an innovator, he was obsessed with perfecting the system, day by day, bolt by bolt. Discipline is what turns imagination into real creativity. And here's the truth. Most people do not fail because of a lack of talent. They fail because of a lack of consistency. They do not show up when things get tough. They seek motivation instead of mastery. They worship comfort but curse the results of their own actions. But the few, builders, creators, visionaries, they worship the process. They accept repetition. They persevere until repetition must yield to them. Do you want freedom? Master the repetition. Wake up before the whole world. Train the mind like a warrior sharpening a sword, not when going to battle, but every day before the war comes. Because when you have discipline, the battlefield belongs to you before the first arrow is shot. Now break one thing you were once taught. You have heard that discipline is about rules, but that is wrong. Discipline is uniformity. When your actions align with your values, purpose, and highest self, that is discipline. And that is power. Do you want to be rich? Discipline in spending. Do you want to be healthy? Discipline in movement. Do you want to be wise? Discipline in focus. Do you want to be respected? Discipline in speech. And above all, if you want peace, discipline your mind. For an undisciplined mind is a tyrant. It will drag you into anxiety, jealousy, regret, fantasy, anywhere but the present. But the present is the only place where success has ever happened. So let's train it. Please quiet the noise. Starve the distractions. Stand before your goal like a guard watching over the city gate. No excuse is allowed to pass through. Only effort. Just let them laugh. Just let them say you are too rigid, too strict. Because one day they will look up and see you living the life they only dared to dream of, and they will call it luck. But, that's discipline. Let them sleep. You are building. Let them party. You are practicing. Just let them give up. You are still standing strong. Because you know something that they do not know. Discipline does not take away your joy. It creates it. It builds a pride that no one can give you, and no one can take away from you. That pride, it comes when you do the hard thing long enough, quietly enough, persistently enough, for the whole world to finally bow down. That is the moment you realize you have never needed to control the world. You just need to control yourself. But this is what distinguishes those who merely exist from those who truly rise up. They choose to endure the pain of discipline rather than the pain of regret, because the pain of discipline is as light as a feather. But the burden of regret, it weighs tons. It haunts dreams, erodes potential, and whispers, "You could have been so much greater." A person without discipline is like a castle without walls, easily invaded, easily forgotten. But a person forged by discipline is a strong fortress, unshakable, proactive, relentless. Look at the historical monuments. Lincoln, rising from a small wooden house with only books, integrity, and unwavering discipline. Carnegie, a poor immigrant boy who became the steel industry owner thanks to absolute focus. Edison failed 10,000 times but disciplined his mind to see failure only as feedback. Greatness is not inherited. It is carved out day by day through disciplined actions when no one is watching. Because freedom is not a reward given to the talented. It is a kingdom for those who train their willpower like warriors, those who do what must be done, especially when they least want to. And that is the paradox that the modern world wants you to forget. True freedom does not lie in doing whatever you want, but you have the strength to do what you must do. Every time you wake up to the sound of the alarm instead of an excuse, you take a step forward. Every time you overcome fatigue, when comfort tries to hold you back from giving up, you expand your capacity. Every moment you sacrifice what you want now for what you desire most, you become dangerous. Discipline is not restriction, it is enlightenment. It reveals your true self beneath the noise, distractions, and lies. Because life without discipline will always be a passive reaction. Drifting with emotions, hunting for cheap pleasures, constantly disappointed by shallow victories. But a disciplined life is a life designed by oneself. There is order. There is a conscious choice. And when you live by choice, not by chance, by principle, not pressure, with vision, not vanity, that was when the door opened. The door leading to freedom. Living with discipline is living with clarity. Know where you are going and why it matters. Discipline is the architect of meaning. It is the bridge connecting the person you are today and the life you dare to dream of. If this message touches something deep inside you, if you are on a journey of self-development, persevering and striving for greatness, remember that you are not alone. Let's accompany each other, build a strong mindset, live with purpose and discipline every day. Every week, there are new contents to boost your motivation on the path you have chosen. Don't forget to join this community so you won't miss your own breakthrough moments.